Hey, welcome to week three's lecture. Today we're going to talk about audio quality, editing, and pitch writing. So we've got a foundation from last week of what your format's going to be, of your audience, who they are, and now we're going to talk about the actual logistics of recording, editing, making sure that you have a really solid episode. So let's first start with audio quality. Audio quality in the age of COVID is kind of interesting. A lot of podcasts, they actually do long distance interviews, and they have even pre-COVID. But now when you do an interview, the odds of you being in the same room together is probably pretty small. So there's some tips for recording remotely when you're doing an interview remotely. One of the things is you prep your person you're going to interview, your interviewee, with hey, make sure there's no background noise. Like my house is a perfect example of like background noise. My dogs are always clip-clopping around. You might hear them. They might bark a little bit. I have an 8-year-old. So if I was going to do a podcast, I would want to go into a quieter space, maybe wow, see, on cue. Maybe a closet or somewhere where I'm away from background noise. And also, you need to be conscious of that. A lot of times we're not conscious of, like, if there's a train outside and if you hear sort of like background noise that might be being picked up by your audio, you might want to take a pause like this until the background noise stops. For this class, I suggested, oh my goodness, one second, I'm going to shut my door and see if that helps. Probably won't. But hey, it's really good, right? Because the audio quality is not great because I have all this background noise. So for this class, I suggested some fancier microphones, but if you went ahead and bought the headset, that's fine too. Obviously, the quality will be different. The nicer the microphone, the nicer your audio quality. So let's talk about editing. Editing to me is like one of the places that the storytelling really happens. When you record, obviously you're gathering the content, right? And you're really getting a rich set of content. But when you get into the editing process, that's when you're really piecing together the story. Like, oh, they said this part here, and I think that this is where the conflict happens. And the interview that you did may end up being totally rearranged in the editing process, and that's okay. So editing not only means telling the story and figuring out the layout of the story. And also, the other element is listening for those background noises. If your dog was barking in the background, and if you can cut that out or lessen that, that would be great, right? So it's not only just picking up annoying little noises like your dog barking. Is he gonna bark the whole time? I hope not. Let's hope he doesn't. But also being aware of the story that you're telling and how you edit together the audio so that it's really telling a really interesting and engaging story. So pitch writing, NPR does a great job. They put out a couple different articles I've linked here about how to write a pitch. So this is really when you want, say you've got your podcast and you want NPR to know about it, or you want Stitcher to know about it, and so you need to write a pitch. Two things I really want to focus on about pitch writing from their article is keep it short, right? So I used to be an editor in a newspaper, and I would get pitched a lot of things, and trust me, when I opened an email, if it was like more than 2 paragraphs, I just didn't even have the time. So you got to keep it short. And the other thing I liked about it was have a surprise, right? Be surprising. Let me see exactly what they said to that. I'm going to open that article real quick. It is surprising. So the best pitches will make editors curious. If they read your pitch and respond, wow, I never knew that, tell me more, you're on your way. So try to think of a way, even if your topic is not necessarily surprising, what's a surprising angle about your topic that most people don't know? So when you're pitch writing, there's 6 tips in this article, but the 2 that I really think are so important is keep it short, make it surprising. Because if you think about it, if you get a piece of email or a piece of communication and it's short and you can read it quickly and you're surprised by it, it's really memorable, right? So those are my 2 tidbits. So this week, you're going to really get a deeper dive into all this stuff. Read the articles, finish the assignments, and if you record, make sure you don't have a crazy little puppy in the background barking. Have a good week.